Hey guys, it's Avengel. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to my spiritual home of aircraft reviews. Yes, we are here at Orbx's Orcas Island, and it's MSFS 2024. Yeah, now this aircraft will look very familiar to you. This is the classic aircraft simulations Piper J3 Cub. A stalwart to flying, a stalwart to aviation, virtual and real. Honestly, one of my standout favourite 2020 aircraft that came out. Now, whilst in 2020 I was sent to copy this by the developer before it released publicly, and I got access to the updates, etc., etc. in 2020, for 2024, if you bought it in 2020, you get, at least on Sim Market, the update for free to 2024. I, having been given it, of course, didn't get that opportunity. So I decided to support the developer. For €20, I thought, you know what? For a straight wheel, floats, and Tundra tyre equipped version with multiple liveries, dirty and clean, different registration positions, €20 was a tiny price to pay to support a developer. So I picked up a copy of this, and we're going to review the aircraft. You see what I did there? Fantastic, right? Now, obviously, we know the J3 Cub is one of the most iconic trainers and light aircraft we have in the world. 20,000 were built, including civilian and military variants, including the L4 Grasshopper, the J3s, there's other ones. There's even a license-built one coming in one of the Brazil updates coming soon. Non-license-built, sorry. But this is the 60 horsepower Continental A65 powered version, which is an upgraded one. And the classic aircraft one features optional transponder and radio, with a configuration tablet with tons of features in here. We have custom hand prop system. We have the EDO 1320 straight floats. Tundra's engine oil consumption, engine damage, physics-based animations. We can break our gear, break our props, tons of options, vibrations, Windows controls, customizable pilots and crews and features, prop striking. Everything is in this aircraft. It is fantastic. And, as I turn around here and show you, we got 2024 features, baby. We could turn our chocks off. What do you think about that, huh? There's our little pitot there. It's a tiny little pitot. It's a micro pitot. See? It's a micro pitot. No, that's not what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. But we can wiggle our wiggles and wobble our wobbles, and we can play with things on the aeroplane and pre-flight the aircraft, which is fantastic fun, of course, with this sim. And we can hand prop it, although I did break it on my test flight. But we can grab the prop and turn it, which you can't do when it's broken. In fact, wow, when it's broken, that is a bug, I've just noticed. When it's broken, the prop is turned 90 degrees from its correct axis. So let's get on board, and we'll fix that first, shall we? Because I definitely messed things up here. So we'll go to our engine stuff here. Engine condition, yeah. So we'll repair the whole engine. And we'll go outside, and I'll show you that now. The propeller is the right direction. You can hand prop it from out here. And that will work, but I haven't managed to actually get it to start by hand propping externally. Hand propping internally does work. So it could be a bit of a hangover from 2020. Now, this is, like I said, native to 24, but a lot of the coding is the same because it's essentially that level we already know is very much the same simulator. Okay? So we can see it have started, primed, ready to go, cold and dark, everything we want to do. Down here we can put tie downs on as well. We can have our transponder and radio down there, as we want them to be. In fact, we can just make that go away so we can see things here. There we go. Cool. Make sure that stuff's on there. And, of course, our wheel pants could be turned off. Our chocks are there. We'll turn the pants off there. Tie downs off there. We can look here to our pilot figures. Now, by default, we can have on board our pilots for the stock aircraft, as you see here. Whoa, hello camera. The camera is being very special all of a sudden. There we go. We have 3D model pilot and co-pilot. Now, this is something I noticed with the last aircraft I reviewed for 24. I think it's a 24 bug rather than a third-party developer bug. This is with the MS avatars enabled. Whilst visible in walk-around, inside third-party add-on aircraft, they are not. Now, I think this is a Microsoft's end because the last aircraft I looked at, the Clem, also had this issue. And I have noticed it in some other 2020 aircraft that have come and been brought up to 2024, that this isn't working. Now, it might be developer, it might not, but something's not working as intended. So I have to see. We'll put those back in for now. Now we can have headphone simulation for on here. We can inhibit vibration. We can have camera forces, airplane vibrations. Everything is customizable there. We've got our brightness here for the tablet as well. Everything's wonderfully usable. Nice and user-friendly here, as we might want it to be. Okay? Fuel is fantastic there. So the engine, we basically can get everything prepared for us right now. So that is in. Those are our mags. They are set and ready. I think everything is also good. I think there's also something on the floor I need to press somewhere. I could be very wrong. As that's my door. We don't have to worry about the door right now. I think that is us good to go. So, making sure everything is set and correct and ready here. That's set nicely there. Hold our brakes. Fantastic. We're going to give it 1 prime on there. And I think that's flooded the engine. So what I will do is, because I'm really bad at this, I did this last time I reviewed it too, I'll set it as primed and ready to go, and I can grab the prop and go. And that will blow around in the actual wind, so we can set it up there as we want it to be. And we can turn off our headphone simulation here too, as we mess around with all our wonderful features here. Nice and loud for us here. We'll take it for a spin around Orcas Island, shall we, folks? Because it's a Piper Cub. We love Piper Cubs. With 2024 being such a great VFR simulator, genuinely a perfect aircraft for this kind of simulator. Low, slow, and enjoyable. Exactly as you want it to be. Now, we don't want to let our engine get too low here, of course, because it will stall out the little thing on this aircraft. Miss that patch of ground there, which I don't know why that's not actually asphalted over at Orcas, but it's not, so you have a small square. Ooh, lots of vibration here, bumping along. Let's get ourselves lined up here. You are very low to the ground, and you feel it so much more, I think, than so many other aircraft. Okay. Right, let's do this thing, shall we? Oh, that's me dancing on the pedals a bit too much for it. And we're up and away. And she's just as smooth as I remembered. A fun little aeroplane to play with. And the lighting and depth perception in 24, I think, is one of the biggest changes to this sim, because looking out of the door here, I genuinely feel a sense of height way more than perhaps I have in previous sims. But I feel a little bit more nervous about my altitude right now than I have in previous games. We'll head over Orcas itself here. And the little town. Which will be just to our south of the airfield. And you do feel a lot lower down. You feel a lot closer to the ground. The ground seems much more visceral to you, I think, in 24. And I think this aircraft was born too soon for 2020. And hear me out on why. Low and slow is ideal for 24. It's, at the moment at least, it is. And it is exactly the kind of sim that we can enjoy really getting close to the environment, especially with all the rocks and terrain. It's got tons of those funky little features available to it in the tablet. Now, it'd be cool if that tablet was replaced by the actual EFB system we have now, or at least have... I mean, obviously, this has so much in it that I think it's impossible to actually replace it. So, I think it's actually just fine as it is. Baseball fields down there. The running track below us. But I think, obviously, this is too complicated a tablet to replace with the EFB. Couldn't do it. So, yeah, in hindsight, I changed my mind. Whilst it would be cool, I don't think it's actually possible, so I kind of like the one this has. And do I really need a tablet to navigate around when I can just pop the 2D one up if I need it? Not that in a Cub you're ever really going somewhere long enough that you need to run around looking at GPS navigation, are you? Pull out a road map. This could be just as useful. So we've got the school down there, the fire station just below us somewhere. And the town down there by the cove. Yeah, that'll be the high school down there. Genuinely, the sense of altitude in the Cub is so much more visceral in 2024. Flying this in 2020, it just felt a little bit not quite right. Everything feels a bit more organic now. And of the available add-on aircraft that are around so far, now while I recommend the Navions because I like those, this is a fantastic way to spend $20. And in terms of what features you get with an aircraft like this, it is worth every cent of your $20. From the customization options, and we'll take the float one out for a spin in a minute. Because that'll be interesting to see in 2024. Actually, I've not actually tried that yet. But just from the features you get in this aircraft in terms of its customization on the ground versions with the Tundra tyres and the regular tied version, the engine simulation, the damage simulations, it's a ton of fun. In fact, we're not going to land properly. I'm going to crash. Okay? I'm going to crash for you right now. Intentionally. Because I want to see if we can break the gear. So this is me doing it on purpose, which means I'll probably accidentally make a perfect landing. But my god, the altitude judgment in this aircraft feels wildly different to 2020. Everything feels so much more... I can judge distance so much better now. And in a Cub, that feels perfect. Texture-wise and modelling-wise, I think it looks great for 2024 as an aircraft, and in terms of updates to the new sim, I think they've done a really good job with that. Now, the pilot's not being visible, like I said, I suspect that's on 2024's side because having talked to some of the guys that got friends, I know they use it differently because their avatars won't work. So I know they handle pilot figures differently. So the connection points are different. So it might well be that there is a different system in play, or something's not quite working in the base sim for that yet. Entirely plausible. Right, there's the runway. Well, we're going to slap this thing into the ground so hard, it's going to think it just lost an MMA fight. Oh no! Look at me flying like an idiot! Oh, did we manage to slap it into the ground? The gear's still working. The engine's smoking, but the gear's still in place. That's unfortunate, but I did snap the propeller, as you can see. And we have blown the engine up. There we go. And as you can see, oh, it's now fine. That's interesting. I think I might have just tricked the repair feature by restarting it. Yeah, engine condition fine. So I think by hitting Y, I accidentally fixed the engine. Interesting bug. Maybe that's not been noted. Let's go play with the float version, shall we? Okay, so we're on board the Cub here. Ready to get ourselves rocking and rolling. We're going to hit start just to make our lives simpler, have this all done and taken care of. So, pop our door open here. There we go. We'll leave the bottom half of the door open or closed for now just to make our lives easier slightly. But we have our water rudder down there, of course, allowing us to steer the aircraft on the water surface. We want those retracted before we actually consider taking off. So let's do just that, shall we? Let's pull the water rudder up. I think we're okay here. And we'll give it some beans, shall we? Now keep the nose up. Get those floats ploughing. Oh, there we go. Oh, I actually felt like I popped up. And now it feels like actually on the step. Wow. There's a definite difference between ploughing and getting fast enough to go on the step. If I go third person here... Yeah, we just flew away from the water. That was the most delightful float experience I've actually had yet in 2024. My god. That was lovely. That actually felt almost organic. Have I just found my new love of float flying in this sim? Do people need to learn from how this guy just made his float physics? Because none of the normal porpoising and floating derpery that we get in 2020 or 2024 has happened in this aircraft. Wow. That was really nice. I'm going to open the bottom door as well. Why not? We've got to have that. Look, the world just looks bigger in 24. It really does to me. And it feels like I can actually get down there and interact with that world a little bit more realistically and plausibly. You know? Fly along the coastline here. Enjoy some sights. Almost see the rocks in the shallows. In fact, there are all the rocks in the shallows. Normally this would be add-on scenery to create this kind of stuff. But it's right there. And it feels like I could reach out and touch it in this sim. And a Cub is almost the perfect aircraft to explore all this. Look at that. That is so neat. Now, if this had the Wilga's ability to paddle it, I think this would be absolutely perfect. Honestly, it's approaching A2A in terms of, you know, their AccuSim Cub. Sure, it's not quite the AccuSim Cub. But it's not far off it, to be fair. And oh my god, does this not want to climb with the floats on it. I mean, these floats do add probably more weight than the Cub should ever reasonably have attached to it. So you are climbing like an asthmatic 600-pound man carrying his groceries very slowly and probably going to result in a heart attack. Climb up over the high school if we can make it. We'll land on the north side here and we'll pull into a little harbour north of Orcas Island here amongst the boat traffic and see what we can do there. But I will say the float version of this is delightful. I love how we got the one little water rudder there. But she is a joy to fly. And it looks beautiful too. Like I said, I was given the version in 2020 by the developer to test. And I thank him very much for that. But I absolutely, without reservation, happily bought the 2024 version of this. Because I wanted to support him. Now, if you, like I said, if you bought the 2021, you get the update free on Sim Market. So, I'm not sure about where else you bought it, if that will count. But if you got it on Sim Market, you will get it for free as an update. So there is that, which is nice to have. And there's our harbour. So we'll come in and take a base to final turn here for the water. Land along the coast. So we'll pull that back. I'm not going to see if slamming into the water on the floats will snap the floats, but we'll do our best to make a normal approach and landing here. I want to see how this is. Because if this is a really good float landing, this could be something really fantastic. Because whilst there are plenty of nice little light, ultralights and GA aircraft for flying around in fixed wing stuff or on land, the floats are not stunning with the default float aircraft. So I look forward to seeing if this has actually got it right. Okay, let's keep our nose up. Oh, look at that! Like a kiss. Oh my god, a kiss. And I hold the nose. Oh boy, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Now, I am going to take off and just do a quick 360 because I want to show you this from the third person view. So I'm going to go to full power here. I'm going to hold my stick full back. Let it go up here. And we do seem to pop up on the step very easily. And it skims. No skipping, no nothing. And then up and away. Look at that. Perfect. And I'm just going to bring her down laterally here again. Just so you can see what I mean. Oh, that's a bit nose down. Oh god. Yeah, that's my fault because I'm in third person. I'm able to manage my speed as well. But she digs in. And she rides on those floats beautifully. Oh, when those noses drop down low, I get very nervous. Wow. Let's see if she'll plow taxi. I actually feel like I'm on the water in this little aircraft. Okay, hold the stick back. Right into my tummy. We'll not go too high on the throttle. Oh. I mean, this is one way of doing it. Probably a little bit quick. Pull the power back here. Let ourselves settle down. But I will say, of all the aircraft I've flown outside of seaplanes, sorry, outside of flying boats, I need to be more specific, Of all the aircraft in the sim that float outside of flying boats, this is the nicest float physics of any aircraft I've tried. Flying boats in 2020 and 2024 for some reason work great. Whether it's Big Radial's Goose, whether it's the new Albatross, the Dornier Sea Star. Flying boats work great. Float planes sucked. But this is really nice. This is better than the Goose, the Beaver. This is as good as the Wilga from Got Friends. And it's genuinely, with how small this is, you feel so viscerally close to everything. This is a very, very enjoyable experience. And to get the fun and fantastic flying of the wheeled variant of this, but to also now, apart from going uphill here, to also have this amazingly fun float version that works so well. Oh, is this actually solid ground? That is solid ground. That is muy frustrating. I hate you, Flight Sim. I think I know what they did, because the float, I think, contact point is somewhere in the middle of this rather than right at the front, which is really working out well for it, because I think it's, if the float point contact points are too level, maybe that's it. Maybe because that's how it works with a flying boat, is the bow shape is much more pronounced. I think there's higher contact points at the front versus lower in the middle, so I think there's a genuine like U shape almost to the contact points, which is helping abate that porpoising. Whereas this obviously doesn't have that issue, because they're doing the same thing. Because if you notice how it sits forward, nose down. So I think the contacts at the very prow of the floats is higher up. Same with the ones at the stern of the float. And I think the two higher points, or the higher points at the very ends versus lower ones in the centre, are actually deleting that porpoising effect. That's my interpretation. That's my dev hat guess. But I love this aircraft. This is fantastically well made. Stop vibrating, please. You going to stop now? Because I've actually killed everything. Okay, there we go. I'm going to have to splash around a little bit. I love this thing. This is fantastic. I really enjoy it. I think he's in a No. No. Oh. No, is it not? No. I was hoping so much for that. Wait, it's actually... It's moving me. Oh my god. That is sick. Dude. I can paddle a seaplane. Okay. Best add-on for 2024 yet. Changed my mind. The classic aircraft simulations J3 Cub. What are you waiting for? Go buy this thing.